What's up, YouTube? It's Jeff Tuffner here on the Glorious Podcast with my Hell in a Cell 2017 review. And I gotta give WWE props. That main event was fucking amazing. It was one of the best main events I've ever watched. In a time where WWE is consistently bad almost every week on Raw and SmackDown, and then you get a good match on an occasional good match on a pay-per-view every few weeks. What I witnessed tonight in that main event, I loved it. Those two guys, Kevin Owens and Shane McMahon, killed it. They put their bodies on the line. They were playing with death tonight, guys. It was just amazing. It was an amazing main event. I cannot believe how good it was. I just needed this. I needed this more than anything. The show overall wasn't bad either. It wasn't just the main event that was good. There were other things I liked in the show, but man, we just got to talk about the main event before we even get into anything else because it was just amazing. It was amazing. Kevin Owens, Shane McMahon. I've been talking about it for weeks, how excited I am for this match. I've been loving the build for it. I've been saying it. Maybe I've been even overhyping it, some might say. I've been really overhyping this match. But I was really looking forward to it. I knew it would be a good match. I knew they'd put on a good match. You add the Hell in a Cell to it, even better. I was not a fan of adding the whole Falls Count Anywhere stipulation. I didn't think that would help the match. I thought that was kind of like, we knew they were going to go outside the cage eventually. They didn't practically need to come out and announce that they were by adding the Falls Count Anywhere thing to it. So I thought that was a bad booking decision there, that they could have just went on with it and then broke the cage or whatever, or Shane could have just, did what he did where, he cut the cage chain open and went right outside the cage. Could have just did that. They didn't have to announce Falls Count Anywhere to where it was like, oh, yeah, they could just go out anyway. So that was stupid there. But then again, didn't really bother me tonight. Like I said, I'm not even thinking about that stuff now. I was just thinking about how good the match itself was. And you know what? It started off kind of slow. I was kind of like, I was watching the beginning, and it was just kind of a slow back and forth match. And I was like, but you know what? This is how every match starts. And then it just picked up. It picked up. They started taking crazy spots. And Kevin Owens did that like not power bomb, that like flip where he went flying through the table. Shane moved out of the way inside the cell, and then it started to pick up. It got intense from there. Then they went outside the cage, and then they were I think the best part was when they were on top of the cage for almost like 10 minutes straight, just going back and forth. And I was just waiting for that cage to cave in. I was just like, eventually that's going to break. Someone's going to go flying through, landing on the ring. And I mean, this is the part where they were like playing with death right here, guys. I mean, it was insane. It was honestly hard to watch, and it was just crazy as hell at the same time. That it was like power bombs on top of the cage and suplexes, and then it's like, oh, the cage didn't break. It was just great. And then they were just teasing like flying off the cage, and they went off, and then they actually went down. And I was kind of like, I almost felt like it was a letdown almost when they went down and they did that spot where who was it? KO fell off. Kane. Why did I say Kane? Kevin Owens fell off. Shane McMahon threw him off, and then he went through the announce table off the side of the cage. I thought that was almost like a letdown. I was like, man, they were teasing like, really going something crazy, or someone going through the cage or off the top of the cage. But I was like, yeah, it was still good nonetheless. I honestly thought that was the end of the match right there. I thought, oh, Shane's gonna go down and he's gonna pin him. I mean, it was late too, guys. I mean, this show didn't get over until like 11:35, I think it was. I mean, a SmackDown pay-per-view going until 11:35. They really put the time and effort into this. They didn't just, put on anything bad. I mean, they actually like went in, put the time in, gave that overtime to them, to where they could just go on with it as long as they wanted it. And I loved it. I loved the fact that they did that. It just worked out really good in the end. It wasn't a failure. It was really good. Where were we? We were at the part where Kevin Owens went off the side of the cage. And then they started going at it again. And then Shane went up to the top. Shane goes up to the top. And then I'm like, oh my God, now Shane's going to jump off the top. And Shane does it. Shades of WrestleMania 32 all over again. Shane jumps. Now, from the angle they were showing initially, it looked like Kevin Owens just rolled out of the way. I'm like, oh my God, it's just like WrestleMania all over again. And Kevin Owens is going to pick up the win. And then they showed the alternative angle. And Sami Zayn is out there. He pulls Kevin Owens out of the way. Shane goes flying through the announce table. And then all the medical people come out. And I'm just like, this is now I'm like losing my mind. I'm like, Sami Zayn just saved Kevin Owens. Like, what is going on right now? And then Sami Zayn helps Kevin Owens, throws all the medical people out of the way, puts Kevin Owens over Shane, pulls the referee in to count the 3 count, and then Kevin Owens picks up the win. So then we witness basically a Sami Zayn heel turn, reuniting with Kevin Owens. I mean, this just adds to it. It's like they're finally doing with something with Sami Zayn too. All this time I've been complaining for months and months on about how they do nothing with Sami Zayn, and now he is the center of attention on SmackDown. He is now in the middle of this Shane McMahon and Kevin Owens feud. He is now right in the middle of it, the biggest thing going on SmackDown right now. I love it. I love how they're finally doing it. I don't know what took them so damn long to do something with Sami Zayn, but finally they've realized we can do something with him, and now they're going to finally do it. So I just hope this continues to work out, guys. I've been saying for a while now that this is going to be one of the biggest talked about feuds going all the way up until WrestleMania, and it's not going to be Kevin Owens, Shane McMahon the whole time. I'm telling you, it is going to lead to Kevin Owens and Triple H at WrestleMania 34. I just have it all planned out in my head right now. I've had it planned out for the last few weeks now how it's going to happen, from Hell in a Cell, Survivor Series, the Royal Rumble, WrestleMania. It's just all going to lead up to a big match with Triple H. That's what's going to happen. I don't know what Sami Zayn his role is going to be in this now. I don't know if him turning heel, what that leads to. I just hope it means something good, because now he's going to be everybody wants to know why he did it. That's what we're going to want to find out on SmackDown. So now he's the center of attention on SmackDown. So that just adds to why I enjoyed this whole part of the show here, the ending here, this match itself. And then everything that transpired during the match and after the match, it was just crazy, off-the-charts stuff. I mean, I needed this more than anything right now. Wrestling has been it just hasn't been good. I legit have not enjoyed, an entire show. Well, I didn't enjoy the entire show tonight, but I haven't enjoyed, at least something crazy like this since, I don't know, maybe WrestleMania when the Hardy Boys showed up. That's the intensity that this brought tonight. It hasn't been this intense since the Hardy Boys returned at WrestleMania. That's how it felt for me. I mean, it might be different for other people, but that's what it felt like for me tonight. It was just insane. I think we've talked about that. I mean, there was other stuff on the card I liked. It wasn't just that. There was some stuff I didn't like, and I'll get to that. Let's just talk about the good stuff, because the bad stuff's the bad stuff, but the other Hell in a Cell match, the opening of the show, ended with a great match, and it opened with a great match. I didn't think anybody could top this match, but I don't know. I mean, I think the fact that, Kevin Owens and Shane McMahon practically killed themselves in the main event match, I might have to say that was the better match, but it's close between this match and the Usos and the New Day tag team match for the SmackDown tag team titles inside of Hell in a Cell that opened the show. These four rather, put on an amazing match inside of Hell in a Cell. They were doing all these crazy spots. Guys were flipping around the ring, flying into the cell wall. It was insane. I love that match, too. The two Hell in a Cell matches were just the key points of the show. It started good and ended good. There was there was a lot of nonsense in between that I didn't care for. But hats off to the Usos. Hats off to the New Day. They put on an amazing match. Same goes for Kevin Owens and Shane McMahon. Those Hell in a Cell matches tonight were some of the best Hell in a Cell matches I've watched since I've started watching wrestling. I mean, both of them happened on the same night was insane. I mean, it just props to those guys. It was incredible. Two possible, you know what I mean? This is all people are going to be talking about. Match of the year candidates right here. I mean, especially, I think more the overall match was the Usos and New Day for the overall better match. I just feel the more craziness and intensity was brought with Kevin Owens and Shane McMahon, because it was the hyped up thing. Everybody was talking about that. It was, the Usos versus the New Day wasn't the big hyped up thing. It was more of just a good match, crazy stuff. But I feel that's why everybody's, I'm saying Kevin Owens and Shane McMahon's better, because it was just more hyped up, I think, and it was the center of attention on SmackDown. That's what everybody was looking forward to. But nonetheless, both the matches were two great matches. Some of the best matches I've seen all year. Some of the craziest stuff I've seen all year. I mean, Hell in a Cell matches usually bring out some intense stuff that we don't normally see in WWE. I mean, granted, we didn't see a whole lot last year at Hell in a Cell. It was kind of I hate when you get to Hell in a Cell matches and they don't even use the cell in the match. That's the worst. When you get Hell in a Cell matches and they don't even use the cell to anything, where they just, one guy runs into it once or whatever. That's it. I love when they actually used it for what it's there for, and it just makes it better, and it's just what it's there for. I don't know. What else happened on the show that I liked? Fashion Files was a pretty good segment. We're supposed to get that to return on SmackDown this past week. Never got that, and then they held it off to tonight. We got that tonight. That was pretty decent. A little 5 minutes of entertainment there. Shinsuke Nakamura versus Jinder Mahal was awful. Let me just say, I legit was thinking about just taking a straight up nap during that match. And then I forgot all about Bobby Roode versus Dolph Ziggler. I had no clue this match was even going to happen. I legit was thinking after the Nakamura and Mahal match, I was like, all right, main event time. And then Bobby Roode's music came. I'm like, oh my God, I completely forgot about this match. And I wasn't the only one. I went on Twitter and everybody forgot about this one. And it was nothing, I mean, I could have easily just slept through the Nakamura, Mahal, Bobby Roode, Dolph Ziggler, and then waking up for the main event. That wasn't anything special there. Once again, I didn't expect anything out of Jinder Mahal versus Shinsuke Nakamura. I thought it was bad booking. I thought it was just really bad booking. Once again, Jinder Mahal wins, so, I didn't expect Nakamura to win. I knew Jinder Mahal was going to win, but still, I mean, I'm just sick and tired of Jinder Mahal being champion at this point. It was okay to run with it for a little bit there, but WWE's really ran with it way too long, and they just need to get that title off him. And it doesn't look good, though, because they announced that they're going to do that tour over in India in December, so that makes you think they're going to keep the title on him until at least December. I thought of an idea. Maybe they could take the title off him, have him win it back in India. They could do something crazy like that, but most likely that's not going to be the case. SmackDown doesn't even have another pay-per-view until Survivor Series, and if they do Survivor Series the way they did Survivor Series last year, probably not even going to see a WWE title match because it will probably be a bunch of Raw vs. SmackDown stuff, which I didn't mind. I initially hated that last year going into Survivor Series, but after watching Survivor Series last year, I actually liked that whole Raw vs. SmackDown thing. It actually worked out pretty good last year at Survivor Series, so I'd like for them to do that again this year. Maybe not as much, kind of give some more title matches and other stuff to it, but I don't know. I'm curious to see. It'll be interesting to see rather what will happen at Survivor Series and how they're going to do it this year because who knows. But yeah, Jinder Mahal, Shinsuke Nakamura. The match was not really good. The booking just not good. Bobby Roode versus Dolph Ziggler. Bobby Roode picks up the win. Dolph Ziggler loses. I don't I don't know what to talk about in the matches. There's nothing to it. It's just they threw that on the card. I knew it was going to be bad, both them. I knew they weren't going to be anything special. So Charlotte defeats Natalya. DQ. So Charlotte wins the match, but Natalya's still the champion. A lot of people were speculating Carmella could cash in here, and then I legit sent out a tweet, and then right after the DQ happened, I was like, oh, whatever. Some people were pointing out that this could end up leading to Charlotte winning the title at Starrcade, the live event that they announced that they're going to be doing in the middle of November, I think it is, where Charlotte's going to take on Natalya inside of a steel cage at that live event. So it's very possible that could be what they were waiting for. I don't know. I'd be pissed if they don't. I'm really pissed if they're not going to air this Starrcade event on the WWE Network or something, because it's a really nice looking card, and I really want to watch it. But they're making it out to be where it's they might not even air it. They're going to see title changes and everything. I mean, I don't know. They'll probably record a few minutes of the match and then throw it up on YouTube or whatever, like they've done with past live event matches. But Baron Corbin defeats Ty Dillinger and AJ Styles. Now, Ty Dillinger got added to this match. I had no clue. I was a little late to the pre-show. I forgot I didn't even realize Ty Dillinger was added until when they were getting ready to do the match, and then I'm like, wait, Ty Dillinger got added to this match? So I was like, all right, I'm all of a sudden invested in this match. I didn't care for AJ Styles versus Baron Corbin initially. Like I said, I don't care for Baron Corbin that much anymore ever since WWE practically destroyed him over about a month ago. But I love AJ Styles. He's great. And I'm a big Ty Dillinger fan too, so I think you add him to the equation. I'm like, all right, that gives me a little more interest in the match. But the only reason they added him to the match was so they didn't have to have Corbin pin Styles. They'd have Corbin pin Ty Dillinger, and then Corbin wins the title. I kind of expected Corbin to win the title. I wasn't too surprised at all that he won. I don't know what's next for him. I don't know what's next for AJ Styles or Ty Dillinger. Maybe, I don't know, does AJ Styles move on from the WWE, not the WWE title, the United States title? Maybe he moves on to the WWE title. I would love that. AJ Styles, Shinsuke Nakamura, not Nakamura, Jinder Mahal feud. I don't know. That would probably be nothing special. I mean, anything with Jinder Mahal at this point is nothing special. Like I said before, they need to get the title off him because it's just not working right now. That is supposed to be the most prestigious title in WWE, and nobody even cares about the WWE title matches. Everybody's talking about everything else just about but that. So it's just they need to, it's just not working. I don't know. Randy Orton versus Rusev. Randy Orton wins again. Rusev's done. They've officially destroyed Rusev. Ever since he's come back in his return right before Battleground on, I think it was the July 4th episode of SmackDown. Lost to Cena at Battleground. Should have won that match. Lost to Orton at SummerSlam in 5 seconds. Should have won that match. And then tonight I was like, all right, maybe they'll get him a win back on Orton tonight. Loses to Orton again. Yeah, Rusev's done. I don't know what else to think. And then Randy Orton, Randy Orton bores me to death anymore, guys. If they don't turn him heel sooner than later, it's not gonna work. It's just his character is just so generic. That it's just generic almost. To the point where it's just yeah, he does the whole Randy Orton thing, comes out, does the whole pose, RKOs somebody, goes to the back, that's it, wins a match. You know what I mean? Like, people are just tired of it. Like, give him a legitimate storyline or something. Turn him heel or whatever. Because it's just not the face thing. It's just been not working for, like, ever since he came back from that injury last year or whatever when he took on Brock Lesnar. Ever since that, the Bray Wyatt feud. I mean, then again, he feuded with Bray Wyatt for about 7 to 6 months or something like that. So, I mean, that feud was, I don't know, it was okay at first when they actually teamed out to win the titles and all, but we all know how that ended up turning out. It was kind of a really bad feud. It just ended bad. I'm not even going to get into that right now. But they need to turn Randy Orton heel. Its face is boring. The pre-show, I did not catch this match either. Shelton Benjamin and Chad Gable defeated the Hype Bros. Now, I thought the Hype Bros were going to split up tonight, but they just kept teasing it again. They didn't do it tonight, but they teased it again. Seeing that the Usos win the tag titles, I knew the Usos winning the tag titles would be the better decision, rather, for WWE at this point, because the Usos are a heel team, the New Day are a face team, and there's a lot more face teams on SmackDown than heel teams, so, I mean, you would need to put the titles on the Usos. I think maybe Shelton Benjamin and Chad Gable are the next guys in line to maybe take on the Usos for the titles. Then again, we could see like a rematch real quick, maybe this Tuesday on SmackDown, where the New Day, use the whole rematch clause, that whole thing, to get the rematch out of the way, because I don't think they're going to try to drag this out one more pay-per-view or anything. I mean, like I said before, this feud, they've been going wild with it, but every time they step in the ring, and tonight just continues that trend of just incredible matches. Tonight was probably their best one yet. Their SummerSlam match on the pre-show was amazing. It was better than most of the matches even on the SummerSlam card. And then they've had matches before that, and they've been switching the titles a lot, but I think at the end of the day, the Usos should keep the titles, and the New Day should move on to something else. The Usos should move on to something else. But incredible match they had tonight, like I've said before. Anything else I missed? I don't know. Let's go back to the Kevin Owens and Shane McMahon thing. I forgot to mention a few things in regards to that. What the hell was that part where there was a rope break, but it was a Falls Count Anywhere match? WWE once again back at it with they're making up rules in the middle of the match. Rope break in the middle of a Falls Count Anywhere match. That makes perfect sense. That was awful by WWE. I caught that. A lot of other people caught that. They think they're going to get away with that. Not going to happen. But you know what? I'm not going to let that take away from what everything else that happened. The great match that we watched. But that match, it just was great. It was great. We haven't seen anything this good in WWE for a while. I mean, we see like just crazy stuff in that match. We just don't see that stuff anymore. We just usually get the boring, same old stuff. I honestly thought, like, I had doubts just based on how things have been the last few months in WWE, or maybe like the last year or whatever. I just had doubts going into this that it would just be the same old nonsense. They would, they wouldn't do anything crazy, basic match, and I'd be sitting here doing my review of Hell in a Cell, complaining and just saying, there was about one good match on the card tonight. Everything else was garbage. But I'm not doing that. I'm in a very good mood right now. Very good mood because of that Kevin Owens and Shane McMahon match. There is a reason. Guys, there is a reason to tune into SmackDown Tuesday. SmackDown's going to do very good when it comes to viewership on SmackDown, and it might even help with attendance. Speaking of attendance, the attendance was a little bit better tonight at the show. It was a pay-per-view, obviously, but they didn't have to cover up any sections that didn't appear, but there were some spots where it was like scattered, where there was a bunch of seats open, but there were a few people in here and there. So, I mean, they did a little better in attendance tonight, but as you could tell, it's still a bit of a problem for WWE there. But I don't know. I mean, if you put on entertaining stuff like what they did tonight, people are going to want to come to the shows and tune into the shows, and, viewership's going to go up. Ticket sales are going to go up. That's all you got to do is put on an entertaining product, and they actually did that tonight. So props to WWE for doing that, because it's been a long, 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 long time since it's been this entertaining, per se. So, hopefully, I mean, we got a reason to tune into SmackDown. We got a reason. I'll be definitely excited to watch SmackDown, because I want to see what happens. I want to see why Sami Zayn helped Kevin Owens. You know what I mean? I want to see the fallout of this whole thing. I want to see, everything else. The shows after pay-per-views are usually the best shows in WWE. It's the worst ones are usually the go-home shows, and the best ones are usually the ones after pay-per-views. I mean, that's why we get all hype every year for the Raw after WrestleMania. It's usually one of the best Raws of the year. You get the debuts and everything. And then whenever something crazy happens on a pay-per-view, depending on the show, if it's a Raw show, SmackDown show, whatever, you're excited for that next show, the Raw or SmackDown after it, because it's want to see what transpires. So that gets people to tune in. It's all about doing something on the show the week before to get people to tune in the next week. If you don't do anything on the show and the show's awful, and just trust me, this is like this. It's like this almost every week on Raw and occasionally on SmackDown, where you watch the entire episode of the show and you're like, what's the point of even tuning in next week? They didn't even promote anything to where it's like I want to watch next week. There was no cliffhanger or anything, but we saw that tonight. There was a huge cliffhanger. But like I said, SmackDown, they were doing that for a while there back in the summer. They had like 3 weeks in a row where they had cliffhangers on the show, and it was just like, yeah, there's a reason to tune in next week. There's this match happening, or that's going to happen. So that they did that last in the summer, and they've done it before, but Raw never does that. Raw has no idea of how to, continuously get people to want to watch the show. Raw just says, oh, we're going to have Goldberg on the show. Oh, Brock Lesnar's going to be on the show. The Undertaker's going to return. You know what I mean? Or John Cena's back or whatever. Raw just brings back all these other people, just advertising other people on the show because they know, oh, that's going to increase ticket sales or that's going to increase, the viewership on the show. That's Raw's strategy of doing things. SmackDown doesn't go by that strategy that much, which I like a little bit better. They kind of they try sometimes. Like I said, they haven't been as good lately as they used to be. I remember this time last year. I remember they were amazing this time last year. SmackDown was like the best. It was like incredible this time last year, and Raw was awful. I feel like Raw, though, it's badder now than it was this time last year. So things have gotten worse. But, I don't know. I just hope this is a sign of good things to come for WWE. I mean, then again, I'm in the back of my mind, I'm like, this is nothing. This is going to be one entertaining night, and then we're going to be back to the usual shit come, Monday and Tuesday, as always, and then we'll be back to the just same old nonsense. Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe they finally decided that they're going to try to do something entertaining in the long run. But, I don't know. We can only hope for that to happen because, I don't know. Based on what I saw tonight, I loved it. I didn't love the entire show. I loved the main event, Kevin Owens, Shane McMahon, Sami Zayn getting involved, the Hell in a Cell match, incredible. And the Usos and the New Day, that match was insane too. Like I said, Charlotte and Natalya was an okay match. Not a big fan of the ending. Shinsuke Nakamura, Jinder Mahal, pretty bad. Bobby Roode, Dolph Ziggler, nothing special. It wasn't a bad match, just nothing special, really. I mean, we all knew Bobby Roode was going to win. Baron Corbin versus Ty Dillinger and AJ Styles. That was an okay match. I didn't really talk about that match much. I kind of just, brought up the fact that Ty Dillinger was in the match and Corbin won. But that was an okay match. I didn't mind it. Kind of got off to a little bit of a slow start. Picked up a little bit toward the end. I felt like it maybe went a little too long. Didn't need to go as long as it did. But it was okay. Anything I missed? Like I said, Fashion Files was good. Randy Orton versus Rusev, not a bad match, but like I said, nobody cared for it. It just didn't have anything to it to where people were interested. They just say, yeah, it's Randy Orton versus Rusev. So like I said, Randy Orton needs to turn him heel as soon as possible. Rusev, I don't even know what to say about Rusev at this point. They screwed up on him big time. You know what I mean? They're just all they had to do was have him win these pay-per-view matches and get him over as a top heel, but they're not doing that. They don't want to do that. They refuse to do that for some reason. I don't know why, but I mean, I don't know. Hopefully we get some new feuds. I want to see some new feuds, and there's a lot of stuff they've been dragging out for a while now, like the New Day and the Usos and Randy Orton versus Rusev and Jinder Mahal, Shinsuke Nakamura. There's a lot of stuff where it's like, all right, can we get some new feuds? Can we just get rid of the stuff we've been doing for a while here that they've been dragging on for about the past 3-4 months or whatever? Hopefully that's what we see on SmackDown. SmackDown has the potential to be a very good show this Tuesday, guys. But then again, how many times have I come on here and said SmackDown has the potential to be a very good show, and then end up sitting there reviewing the show after it, saying this was just an awful one tonight. That happens all the time. I mean, most of the time it's the shows that I don't have much to expect out of that end up being the pretty good shows, and it's the shows that look like they're going to be really good and that end up being complete garbage. I don't know. I think I've covered everything in regards to Hell in a Cell. Let me give you guys my rating out of 10 for the show. I mean, based on the 2 matches I saw, it was amazing. I'm trying to put everything into it. I think maybe like a 7.5 out of 10. Hell in a Cell matches were great, like I've said before 1,000 times. I'll probably go 7.5 out of 10, maybe 7 out of 10. Let me know what you guys give the show out of 10 and what you thought of the show down in the comment section below. Go follow me all over social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, to get updates on when I post new videos and everything. So go follow me all over there. Those links will be listed in the description. As always, leave a like, subscribe, and I will see you tomorrow right here on the Glorious Podcast with my Monday Night Raw review.